Before this video begins, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Also, be sure to check out my affiliate links down below so you can get discounts on car mods and products. Alright, let's get into the drive. Hello and welcome! Today we are driving a 2019 Ford Flex SEL. This is an all-wheel drive model. I would like to thank Flood Ford in East Greenwich, Rhode Island for allowing me to review this vehicle and also drive it. Their link is down below. This is powered by a 3.5-liter V6, naturally aspirated, making 287 horsepower and 254 pound-feet of torque. This is mated with a 6-speed shiftable automatic. This is finished in blue, and it has a tan interior. To get all the other specs on this car, make sure to go check out my other video, the review of this car. This currently has 30,000 miles, and it stickers around $36,000. This rides on some 18-inch aluminum alloy wheels with 4 disc brakes, and on top of 235 tires. It can also tow 4,500 pounds. Alright. Also, it does have 4-wheel independent suspension with front and rear stabilizer bars. Alright, and let's take this for a drive. So, I've never driven a Ford Flex before. But ever since I was little, I've had a soft spot for these cars. I don't really know why I like them. They're very funky. But I think from the front, to an extent, they kind of look a little like a Range Rover. Or a Land Rover product. They, I don't know, they just look interesting to me. Always have. They're very well styled. So, yeah, they're pretty interesting. And we are currently at Flood Ford in East Greenwich, Rhode Island. There's a beautiful Shelby. Alright, it's a 3.56, let's see. Alright, doesn't sound all that bad. It's a V6, it naturally aspirated, no turbo whistle or anything. If you heard that, that's interesting. It sounds like a spaceship, how it winds down this engine. It was like, boo! That was kind of cool. Doesn't really do it on the wind-up. Interesting. Alright, so my first initial impressions with this. The steering is actually not too light, but it's a little bit heavier than I expected. That's not a bad thing, though. It gives some decent feedback to the road, from the road. As for tire noise, it's very quiet. Even though it has 235 tires, they're not that big. And then 18-inch wheels, also just a moderate size. Going through that bump, it absorbed it pretty well. As for wind noise, it's not terrible. Going about 45. It's not too bad. I've been told this drives like a couch, which I think is true because the front seats up here, they are leather. They don't feel too bad, but they have almost zero bolstering on either the sides or the thighs. They also are heated up here, up front, so that's nice. 3 levels of heating. But yeah, so far, I agree, this does drive like a couch. Let's see. Yeah, putting in some input into the steering, it just kind of like sways into the turn. And the input doesn't feel that direct, of course. You're basically just driving a box. So. A nice looking box, I like it. But yeah, body roll is definitely there. I'm not even going that fast, and there's some body roll. If I were to pop it into sport, all it's going to do is kick me up a gear. You can feel that in the transmission, and put it back in normal. Yeah, there's some body roll of this. It drives pretty big and heavy, but it's manageable. It's not too bad. As for the brakes, they work. They're not that sporty, of course. They're not meant to be. They feel okay. Yeah, body roll. I'm like shifting sideways in the whole seat towards the window. Yeah, I'm only going 45. Blind spot monitoring is definitely a help in here because it is a little bit... It's very boxy in here, but I don't know, it's a bit of a thick pillar, so has some get up and go. Yeah, so for wind noise going around highway speeds, 55, it's not too bad, but it's definitely windier than, say, the Ford Ranger I just drove. Surprisingly, that was quieter. Yeah, there's like a whirring noise as you decelerate this engine down the RPMs. It goes like, beep. Sounds like a whistle. That's very odd. I don't hate it. I think it sounds cool, but I'm just not exactly sure what it is. And blind spot monitoring, of course, is working for you right there. As for the ride in here so far, it's not bad. Again, drives like a couch. Yeah, the steering is actually pretty heavy for this car. I'm surprised. Gas pedal is okay, like popping on and off of it. A little different than the Ford Ranger I drove, where the input or not with the gas pedal was very apparent. It was like throwing you forward and back a tiny bit because it had the modern 10-speed. But this one isn't that bad with that. You can just barely tap the pedal and keep it smooth. Let's pop into Sport. Yeah, so it kicks up. See how quick it shifts. Third, second. Can't go into second. Fourth. Okay, that's actually moderately quick to respond. It's a little quicker than the Ford Ranger in that regard. The 6-speed is quicker on a shiftable basis than it is on the 10-speed in the Ranger. You do not get any premium audio system in here though, so I kind of wish that were present. This is only a mid-trim, you may get that in the top trim. Yeah, so for wind noise, it is a bit high in here. At least you are pushing a brick through the air. This is all to be expected. But yeah, the Ford Ranger was a bit more aerodynamic, I guess, and that I drove earlier was definitely a bit quieter to drive. It's actually pretty torquey of an engine. It's just at lower speeds, it's really not that bad. It's really pretty good to drive at lower speeds. And we have a little bit of space. Let's actually try a 0 to 60 run quickly in this car. So it is all-wheel drive, so no tire spin. And 60. It's not all that bad. You'll definitely get up there. It'll redline in every gear. And that's regular too. In sport mode, it may have shifted a little bit quicker through those gears. So overall, for my thoughts on this 2019 Ford Flex SEL all-wheel drive, I think it's a decent car to drive. I'm impressed by it overall because I've always wanted to drive one of these. And although it is like driving a couch, it's not very exciting or intriguing. It's okay. It really, it's a nice family hauler. It's a nice 7-seater. And it has enough of the modern touches that I think it would make sense for a lot of families. And I just like the funky styling. Alright, that'll just about wrap up this drive. Make sure to check out my in-depth review so you can get more details on this car. Alrighty, thank you very much for watching, and take care.